How's it going, everybody? Those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Austin, and this is Fintastic Freaks. So as a number of you have probably seen by now, in my previous video about a week or so ago, I went to a little fish store up in north central Iowa, Fort Dodge, Iowa to be precise, called the Fish Room, where I met a couple of awesome people and saw some really cool fish. If you haven't seen that video already, highly recommend that. I'll put it up here somewhere in one of these corners. And of course, while we saw a lot of cool stuff there, I never really went into much detail of what we brought home from there. While I brought a couple of equipment pieces back here, like a couple of really cool reef growing lights and such, which perhaps I'll show later. In this video, I want to show you the fish that I brought home from the Fish Room in Fort Dodge. And our tiger knife now resides inside this 40-gallon breeder by himself, minus a couple of feeder guppies and minnows, of course. And obviously, looking at this picture, you might be like, well, where the heck is he? All I see is rocks, plants, and a couple of guppies swimming around. Well, I'll give you one guess is where he's hiding. If you're saying this log, which is literally the hardest hiding place to get a good shot of him, you would be correct. Those of you who are new to Knifefish, this is kind of what they do. They like to hang out in their little cave or hiding spot and just lay low while you have the lights on. Sometimes if I turn the blue light on, my light here, he'll sometimes come out a little bit. Now that I have temporarily moved his log, I promise, buddy, I'll give it back to you here soon. Look at the pattern on him as well. Obviously, he's got that ribbon-like fin that obviously makes all ghost knives stand out. And something else you might be looking at with him, yes, he is quite large. He is over a foot, which we'll get back to on that later. That's his next place he likes to go. He likes to go behind the rocks occasionally too. But as you can see a little bit, when the plants are out of the way and such, oh, here he goes. Yes, as you can clearly see, he is a big one as well. Much like the black ghost knives, these guys can also grow over a foot, 16 to 18 inches, if given proper conditions, that is. Also like the black ghost knife, these guys are also native to parts of the Amazon River, Colombia especially to be precise, although they can also be found in parts of Brazil, among other places as well in the wild. And like most other knife fish, hence the reason why he's probably not very happy with me, these guys like to hide and be in dark places during the daytime as they are a nocturnal fish. Thus, they usually come out at night, and that's when they also hunt and such, though they can be trained to get used to the light and such. To what I've been told, these guys can be very rare in the aquarium hobby, and I gotta be honest, other than the one time here in Fort Dodge when I went and visited that store, this is the only time I've ever seen this knife fish out of numerous places. I mean, just for a little bit of a grasp on that, obviously, as I've said before, there's 4 awesome fish stores here in the Omaha area, which is nearby where I live. I've been to Des Moines, Iowa, the Kansas City area, all different places here in the Midwest. Don't ever recall seeing this specific type of knife fish anywhere else, and once I saw him, absolutely had to have him, and can't believe that I would also find one this big. He's easily over a foot long right now, might even be around 14 inches too. I've never actually measured him though. And there's a little bit more of a view of him. He's got that beautiful bottom fin like most knife fish have that just flows like a ribbon, and I think that is just one of the coolest things, if not the coolest things about this fish. I mean, obviously if you look at his markings here, I'm pretty sure you can understand why they're named the tiger knife. Diet-wise for these fish, much like other ghost knives or knife fish in general, it's a very highly carnivorous one. This one especially though, I learned, really likes to have a live-fed diet, hence why we have some feeder guppies and minnows in here, a couple of ghost shrimp in here as well, I believe, as well as some snails. Otherwise, I feed him jumbo bloodworms, some frozen krill, occasionally some frozen beef heart, a whole bunch of frozen and meaty foods. They can also be trained to eat pellets and all that, which apparently this guy has already been trained to do so, as he will sometimes come out and snack on the little pellets that I give to the guppies and the minnows occasionally. They'll happily accept those as well, but that might take a little bit of time, but definitely important to keep meaty foods in their diet as well. He's probably got a grim face on right now because he really wants his log back, I'm sure. All right, buddy, there you go. There you go, buddy. Home sweet home. Speaking of the log here, it's kind of another benchmark to show off how big he is. I mean, that log is give or take about a foot long, plenty big enough around for him to fit in comfortably as well. He likes to go through the side holes as well, but if you look out there, yeah, that's about a 1.5 to 2 inches more of his tail sticking out there. So I mean, yeah, he's, I'd say about 13, 14 inches long. He's a big fishy. I do plan to maybe move him into that vacant 75 I have later. Give him a little extra space there. But for right now, the 40 breeder, giving it to him all by himself, still with that 18-inch front to back dimension, and the fact that he just kind of likes to lounge around in his log or behind those rocks for the most part. This 40 breeder will suit him well temporarily, but eventually we'll move him up to a bigger home and such. He's not as social really either. Unlike his next door neighbors here, my spotted Congo puffers. We got Irene here, my female spotted Congo puffer. And just a little update on Sherlock and Irene here, my two spotted Congos. I know a lot of you have been asking if we've had any puffer fry. Not yet. We have seen more mating behavior out of these two, but thus far I haven't seen eggs or any fry swimming about. But of course, if that changes between these two, I will certainly let you all know. And that, guys, is the tiger knifefish. Let me know what you think of him. You think he's a cool fish? Like the video where we're showing him off here. Give this video a thumbs up. Also, if you got any care tips, perhaps you've had one or just have a knifefish advice in general, feel free to leave those in the comments below. I always love taking tips from other people, and perhaps it could help someone else watching this video later. And if you're new and have not done so already, consider clicking the subscribe button to stay in the loop with everything I do. More fish reveals coming like this. Believe me, we're far from done from adding down to this fish room. And of course, plenty more coming on the way here. Would love to have you join the Fintastic Fish Keeper family and be along to see it all. But as always, guys, thank you for watching this video and all the support you give. Getting closer to 750 here and closer to that 1,000 mark as well. Y'all are awesome. Appreciate every single one of you. I will see every one of you in my next video. Stay fantastic.